Hi, I'm Margie with the Asking Spot, and this time we're asking, can I fix your AC? And officially, no. No, I can't.
Oh.
But while I am not an expert in the field whatsoever, haven't been trained or anything like that, I have worked with some really wonderful professional heating and air folk, and I would gladly share their info with you, except for over the years they have since retired. But they've given me a great deal of info. The video you're going to see now is one I shot for a friend of mine who was having some issues. A properly functioning AC unit usually has condensation happening within the unit while it's doing the heating and cooling business it's supposed to. That condensation comes out a little pipe, and that pipe, usually a PVC pipe, ours is the white one there, it will go along and get to the point where it can go back outside and just drip the moisture there. And everything's great. Unfortunately, occasionally that pipe gets clogged, and there's two reasons for that. Either way, when it happens, it will go into the second situation that you have run into. It's the drip pan. Now the drip pan is solely there for being a safety measure. If you should ever pop up and see some moisture in that drip pan, that's a sign something's going on. Start cleaning out those pipes, get your AC person out there. But as most of us are not usually up in an attic trying to check that out, we don't usually see it until the AC unit shuts off. So here's what happens. Your drip pan is set up so that once the moisture gets high enough, it will lift a switch that will shut off the heating and air conditioning. What you do then is you go up and you get your wet dry vac, and mind you, be careful, you can't just set your wet dry vac anywhere, because once the water gets in it becomes too heavy and it can fall through. So this is kind of a two-person job, or you need to have something very safe and sturdy to put it on before you do anything. Once you have that done, then you're going to hose out the water that's in there until it gets down and the switch turns off. At least that way your house will go back to being cooled again. But this is only a temporary fix, because clearly whatever in those pipes are causing the issues with the pipes needs to be fixed. But here's one other thing about that handy dandy drip pan. Like I said, it's only for emergencies, and it's supposed to shut off when the water gets high enough to hit that switch. In one occasion, this house, we had it where it couldn't get high enough to shut off the switch because a little bit of insulation on the other side of the pan got in there and was giving the water a way out. That way out, that was through our garage ceiling. Yeah, and onto the floor, huge puddle. We didn't know any of this was happening until we stepped out into the garage. Future video may be about how to fix up that stain in the garage ceiling, but not right now. We need to address what's going on with the pipe. There's one of two reasons. One, it could be, and this is the exceptionally rare reason, and it more than likely isn't, but I'm just telling you because the fix is kind of easy enough, is the pipe is on a gradual tiny slope going all the way down to the ground. If something were to tip it up, gravity could no longer pull the water out, and that would fill it. But again, this is exceptionally rare. It has happened to me once, so that's why I'm telling you about it. The other, more common reason is, again, going back to that two-person job, is that something's clogged in there. You could run some vinegar and pour vinegar through it and make sure it goes through, and that will kind of help get some of the corrosion out. I've actually had one of those AC guys I told you about before said that, yeah, you could just put drain cleaner down it and it will take care of the mess. I'm reluctant to recommend that just because that's a really harsh chemical and it just kind of freaked me out, but he was the one who quickly pointed out it's a PVC pipe, it can handle it. But here's the other solution I found that worked really well. Two-person job. Get that wet dry vac out again. Yep, you have that cap that's on the top of it. You're going to open that up. You can suck out the moisture that way. And again, I caution, do not put it on your attic roof. Have it somewhere safe and sturdy so it can handle the moisture weight. And then you not only suck it out from there, but you also suck it out from the outside exit part too. And speaking of that exit spot, this is another area of concern. We have loads of lizards.
Aww.
So I like to make sure that this little pipe is no longer an exit for those guys or a place for them to hide from our dogs. So what I do is I use a little bit of screening in there and a zip tie around it. The only thing is again, the gunk that comes through those pipes can clog it up, or just the dirt that's outside can clog those screens up. So every time we mow the lawn, I make sure I check that screen. It's, slides off, rinse it out, put it back on, and it's all good to go. Let's talk about your air filters. Some of the reason that there's gunk in the pipes might be because there's a lot of dust in your system. And that could be because you're not changing your air filters often enough. Those old filters, when they start to get dirty, instead of being this nice little flat thing that some slight amounts of air can get through, they start to get so corroded that they'll buckle. And then just regular air that the air conditioning unit needs comes through on the sides. And that includes all the dust, all the pet dander, all the other gross things that you really don't want to think about.
Yuck.
That could be making it get really filthy. I use rewashable filters, and I have a set of 2 that I switch out so that, while one's being washed and disinfected and dried, the other one is busy doing what it's supposed to do for the system. Change them out once a month. Every time you pay your electric bill, go, oh, let me mess with the filters. And that's going to save you a lot of time and energy and wear and tear on your heating and air conditioning units. And finally, have it serviced not once, but twice a year. This allows for it to be checked right before you start using your air conditioning system and once the season has wrapped up, so nothing can get in there and stuck and corroded and gross. Your units should last longer and run more efficiently, saving you time, money, and a whole lot of sweating. Thanks so much for watching The Asking Spot. I'd appreciate it if you click subscribe, give a thumbs up, and looking forward to talking to you again next time. So let's talk out, but in a jam, you might want to try getting, once again, that trusty, I just said it.
Brain freeze! Brain freeze!
But if it's not the gravitational pull, and it's something in the pipes, which could be any number of gunk, and in our case, sometimes we have lizards, who knows, it also just, regular dirt and dust that kind of goes through the system can get in there and clog up that pipe. You can use, if you're not using wet...
Brain freeze! Brain freeze!
Okay. In air is you get some of the dirt that goes through the system. All of this is getting that wonderful noise of somebody doing something to their yard. I'm sweating so much. Up when it should be angled down to flow down with the water, and it's easy. Doggies. A year, or hey, when your heating and air